And welcome to a VSA video blog, and delighted this morning to have Mark Bolton, the CEO of Panthera Resources. Mark, you're over in Perth, so I think it's good afternoon, but it's good morning from me.
Yes, good morning, Andrew. How are you?
Yeah, no, pretty good. Now, you've released an RNS today, which is clearly good news, but it's quite complicated when you first read it, because it sort of says we're doing this and this and India must respond, but perhaps in what I describe as layman's terms a little bit, you could explain it a little bit more.
Sure. Look, we submitted our memorial, effectively our statement of claim. In these BIT claims, they're generally 4 document turns. We make our initial submission, our first memorial. India responds, we resubmit, and then India responds. So the first stage is complete. India has made a submission to the panel requesting that only one matter is considered before the panel before the whole case is considered. In other words, they've requested bifurcation on jurisdiction. Jurisdiction in this context means are we, Indigold, our subsidiary, afforded protection under the treaty or not? Essentially, in using layman's terms, they've tried to get the case considered and thrown out early on the basis of jurisdiction. What the panel has come back and said is no, and we'd like you to respond on all matters except just the calculation at the end. In our view, the calculation needs to be redone at the end of the process anyway, because in our view, it should be calculated on the date of the award. So in effect, the attempt to bifurcate on jurisdiction is no longer applicable. India now needs to respond, their first response, to all matters except for the final calculation of the damages estimate.
So, in other words, what you're really saying, this is quite a big hurdle in terms of the clock that is sort of ticking and goes over quite a few years to get to a final resolution.
Well, normally when you have bifurcation, it can cost you 6 to 12 months on jurisdiction. So not having this step means we will save 6 to 12 months on the timetable. We'll save probably $500,000 as well. But so it's a big saving on time. You would have heard me say these things take 3 years on the best case and 5 years on the long case. We're already 1 year in, so we're effectively 2 to 4 years, not 3 to 5. This will take 6 to 12 months off the timetable. So we're now 2 to 3 or 2 to 3.5 years left to go. So yes, from our point of view, it removes the risk of the matter being thrown out early, and it shortens the long tail timetable by 6 to 12 months. So yeah, the real cost to us is not dollars. The real cost to us in this process is time, and it saves a lot of time.
And actually, presumably it's a little bit of a wake-up call to India, isn't it? That maybe India, it's time you talked also sort of on the side and thought about maybe we should settle this.
Look, if you like, I can give you their phone number, Andrew, and you could give them that advice. But I'm not going to comment on what position they may or may not take.
Nor you should. And I occasionally get calls from India, actually, these call centres, and I don't want to repeat the trip back to them. So now I've just got to ask you one question, which I think you can knock on the head quite quickly, but I know I've been asked it quite a few times. But obviously we had LCM lost another case, and they're doing a bit of a strategy review at the moment. So I'm just going to ask you a question. Does that impact you?
Look, we talk to LCM regularly, almost weekly, and we've had no indication that our financing is under review. I should point out we've already drawn down half of the facility, so it makes no economic sense to do so. The last point I want to make is that the economics and the value proposition of the case for LCM today versus where we were when they originally invested is dramatically improved. So you never want to say never, but I just don't see that as a viable scenario.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that'd be your answer, but obviously a lot of people are asking. So I sort of
A
had
good
to
question. It's a reasonable question, and one that I've actually asked LCM, and they've said they've reassured me there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah. So look, all good news on that, and that obviously is the main part of Panthera, the litigation case, and why people get excited. Why we currently at VSA Capital have an 80p target price against your current 12p. So there's an awful lot of upside there. I need to just touch base, Mark. You've obviously got West African assets as well. The gold price is going through the roof. We actually think it's going to go even further. I think you've done some work, particularly at Kalaka. Can you just touch base on that and update shareholders on everything that is going on in West Africa?
Sure. Before I do that, just while we are on the gold price, our damages estimate is based on the prevailing gold price, and therefore, we contend that the calculation should be done on the award date. So effectively, not only are we leveraged as an instrument to this court case or this BIT process, we're also effectively highly leveraged to the gold price to the tune of 7 odd million ounces. So shareholders mustn't forget that aspect of, whilst it's a legal claim, the legal claim is underpinned by the gold price ultimately. It's ounces times gold price. The other aspect I wanted to quickly highlight is that shareholders are asking me is, Mark, what's the next stage? And the next stage is for India to respond, which is the second round of documents. We're awaiting an update from the panel in the next few weeks. That will provide us a procedural calendar. So we will be able to give shareholders a clear roadmap for the next phases, dates, etc., so they can know what to expect through 2026.
Okay. It's a very good point on the gold price. I mean, I always say to people, this is like a zero coupon bond, and actually time is not a bad thing because you just keep going up. And I'm quite happy going up. But with gold going probably up, you've got a double whammy, as you say. So actually, let it roll on.
While the gold price is going up, it is a bit of a win-win there. I wish I was a better informed in predicting the gold price, but I'll take it. Look, on West Africa, all I wanted to say is there is a lot of activity in the background. We still intend to restructure that asset, but on an activity point of view, we have been doing the metallurgical test work, and that is now near complete. We're expecting that to be done and announced sometime next month, and that'll conclude the current phase of physical work and allow us to lead into a PEA for that and demonstrate the dollar value of that project. It's a short, low-cost exercise to do that PEA because we've done all the background work, the resource, the geology. We've done mine plans. We've got the metallurgy. It's now just wrapping it into a report. So, and the good thing about a PEA is it's to a publishable standard. So our expectation is we'll publish that, appoint that partner, study manager in the next couple of weeks, and announce that the results early in the new year. And that'll be roughly coincident with the license renewal. Separately to that, we're currently drilling on Beto. As of today, we're on the final hole, and accordingly, we're expecting to announce all those drill results early next month. Lastly, we did announce a few weeks ago the commencement or the decision to do a study by DFR on Cascades, and they are in the final stages of commencing their drilling. I expect them to start drilling in about 2 weeks. And they'll also appoint a study manager and conduct some metallurgical test work. So we have a whole bunch of announcements in the pipeline on Cascades as well. So The next 3 to 6 months on West Africa, ignoring the restructure, there's at least half a dozen items of material news flow coming out of West Africa as well during this period.
And I think it's fair to say that regardless of what country, and I mean, clearly some of them are pretty tricky countries, but the interest in gold projects as the gold price goes up is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I mean, people are starting to go, you know what, I've got to go into jurisdictions, which maybe I wouldn't have done before, but that's because I want a good gold project, and that's the only place I'm going to find it.
Well, I can say that I'm a huge advocate of Kalaka. It is a big project, and it's highly leveraged to the gold price. So I'm a big believer in that concept.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's been the Beaver Creek Natural Resources Forum, big one, and the word was people were talking, gold projects, Africa. Cryptocurrency players coming into gold projects in Africa. It's all bubbling up quite nicely, I think, Mark. So I think you can smile, shall we say.
Look, it's been quiet since we put out the statement of claim in May. I appreciate that. We've been a little bit rudderless without a timetable, but today's announcement, I guess, is the start of the next phase of news flow. We'll give you the timetable in coming weeks, and we can expect that'll give us a roadmap in terms of more news flow in the new year on the arbitration. And then we've got a whole bunch of gold-related West African news coming through as well.
Yeah, look, it sounds like you've got a lot of news flow in the coming months. And of course, you're in London, I think 6th to the 8th of October, seeing
Correct.
investors. So anybody watching this wants to catch up with Mark, please do give us a buzz and we'll fit you into some meeting of some form. It'd be great to have you over here in person, Mark.
Sure. Look, I'll also be in Europe. So if anyone is in Europe, in some of the major investment capitals, be it Munich, Geneva, etc., do reach out to you as well.
Yep. Mark, thanks for doing this and updating, explaining it all. And yeah, it's all looking pretty good. Thank you very much and see you when you're over here.
Thank you, Andrew.